Hey, my name is Arthur Jeng, and this video is a response to the Microsoft Smartphone Patent War for Professor Lavian's IURR 190G course. Through doing this assignment, I actually realized that Microsoft is actually sort of doing pretty well for themselves. Originally, I thought they were losing out because their market share of the Windows 7 OS was very little compared to Android and Apple. But apparently that's not true. So first I'll talk about Microsoft versus Google and the patent war, and second I'll talk about why Microsoft actually has a pretty bright outlook. So according to TechSpot, one of the reasons why Google and Microsoft are going head to head is that Google has open source operating system for Android, and people or companies like Samsung, HTC, they all use this. But Microsoft claims that the Android software infringes on the Windows 7 operating system. So they've actually made deals with all companies like LG and HTC, where for each Android phone sold, Microsoft gets royalties, and Google doesn't really get anything at all. One Goldman Sachs tech analyst proposed that around $3 to $6 of royalties went to Microsoft for every Android device. And to give you a little perspective, within a year, about $500 million would go to Microsoft on fees alone. And just as sort of a punch in the face, it's estimated that Google has around 70%, or Android has around 70% of the operating system used on Windows Phone, or on smartphones, sorry. But Microsoft claimed that one of their VPs of corporate communication posted on Twitter that said, "Hey Google, we are the 70%," meaning that yes, Google has the Android on 70% of the smartphones, but Microsoft is the one that actually makes the money. So for the reasons why Microsoft has a bright outlook is, one, because Windows 7 is completely different than Android and Apple. Windows 7 isn't really shared like Android is, so the originality means that it's harder to get a lawsuit on them. And what I mean by operating system is the usability and Windows 7 itself. Another aspect of their bright outlook is because Microsoft has very strict standards on the devices running Windows 7 and 8, which means that they have control over what smartphones come out. And this is not true for Android. And lastly, Microsoft Connect and Xbox Live are very popular compared to, they have other accesses and channels of distribution for using their operating system. So that's why Microsoft seems to have a bright outlook for the smartphone patent war. Thank you.